Going Under. This one's a little over 1,300 words. I think I have the concept down. I'm not sure how good the story is yet, but I'm going to take a little time to hopefully make it a little better. All right. Going Under by Jay Wilburn. Kyle Warner's last memory was going to be the guy setting up the IV bag for his first dose of anesthesia. He hadn't even gotten it yet, but this was all going to be erased after he came to from his transplant surgery. Depending on the angle, the chemical looked icy clear or a little rusty. As it was hooked to his IV, it started to go to work without him realizing. Kyle asked, "What if it doesn't knock me out?" The guy laughed and said, "We win every time." Kyle's eyes rolled up in his head a bit, but then he said, "I don't know, I'm very logical." The guy laughed again and said, "You're going to be a fun one." Kyle said goodbye to his wife, but would not remember that either. Back in the operating room. No, let's not say back in the operating room. Once they were in the operating room, they had him scoot off the gurney onto the metal table. A new anesthesiologist took over from the first guy. I don't think that's how it works, but I'm doing it anyway. But he remained in the room too. Everyone went around and introduced themselves as the second dose was hooked into his IV. Then they prepared the oxygen. Kyle's eyes never focused on anyone in particular. "If this kidney doesn't work out, I have a spare set up." Laughter passed through the room. Dr. Esther Eckert ignored it. The ex vivo perfuser was still doing its work on the kidney that had been flown in just that morning. Let's say from a young man riding a motorcycle without a helmet. Say a sure way to become an organ donor in a hurry. There we go. "Danny, can you adjust light my way a little?" Danny obliged. Kelly, Esther's favorite anesthesiologist, continued her work. Kyle kept going like everyone was participating in his discussion. "Yeah, he has a twin sister. I dated her for a while back in college. She'll give me a kidney too." Who is he talking about? Danny asked. "No telling at this point," Kelly said. "He'll be counting himself out soon." Hopefully his kidney will work fine, though. I don't want to go back on dialysis." Kyle continued unfazed by the crosstalk. All right. Did he know the donor? The donor died in an accident. The donor died in an accident in another city, Esther said. "There's no way he knows who it is." "We were friends back when we were kids," Kyle said. "Him, his sister, me, all of us." "Are we close to ready, Kelly?" Esther asked. "Almost there, Dr. Eckert. We'll have him on oxygen in a moment." "Just relax, Mr. Warner," she told the patient. Kyle kept talking. "We wanted to see what it was like to see someone die." The people in the room exchanged looks. "Take it easy, Mr. Warner," she said. He kept talking. We didn't know who it was going to be, but she was the one who decided it should be her twin brother, and I went along with it." She was the one who decided, let's say, at the last minute, it should be her twin brother. And I went along with it. I think the other kids would have done whatever the two of us told them to. That's what I think. "All right, what's he talking about?" Danny asked. "Never mind." Dr. Eckert turned to Kelly. Can we... All right, I need to fix it right there. Can we get him under before he says much more? "It's going to take a minute," Kelly said. "I need to watch his vitals." "Can we get him on oxygen at least?" "Not yet," Kelly said. "Give me a moment." Kyle was fine to finish his story. "So we lured him out into the woods." That sounds so sinister, doesn't it? I guess that's what we did, though. "We pretended we were going to play down by the creek. It was really just a nasty runoff area, probably exposed to all sorts of carcinogens when we were kids. The creek was swollen from extra rain the previous week. You don't need to tell us this, Esther said. Kyle kept going though, and the surgical transplant team stood by listening. We almost chickened out. It almost didn't happen. But then she grabbed my shoulder and nodded. That was all I needed. I would do anything for her even before we started dating years later. I gave him a shove, but he didn't fall. All right, let me fix a typo there. That's what editing is for. Fixing all those typos before people see them. Of course, you guys are watching. He just turned and punched me across my jaw, almost knocked me out. She joined me and we took him off his feet, but he kept fighting. The other kids followed our lead, and we got his head under water. Danny looked around the room. What is he saying? Is this real? Stop talking, Mr. Warner, Esther demanded. If he heard her or understood her, Kyle didn't show it. It took him a long time to stop moving. If we had just pushed him in then, it might have all been easy, but we decided to get a few tools and see what he looked like on the inside. Oh my God, Danny backed away. Stay where you are, Dr. Eckert ordered. We used pliers, saws, blades, hammers, screwdrivers, whatever we could find. We were able to wash off in the river. Each of us took a piece home. Most of the kids threw their pieces away later, but I know me and his sister kept ours. I didn't know what it was called at the time, but each of us kept a kidney. But let's say the both of us. The both of us kept a kidney each. I still have mine. Lots and lots of typos. All right, I still have mine in a jar in my special hiding place. It's as hard as a rock and shriveled up, probably like my real kidneys now. Danny whispered, "What are we going to do?" "Our jobs," the surgeon said. "Kelly, still working, Dr. Eckert. We'll be ready soon." Kyle said, "Most of the kids went home. We told them what story to tell, what story to stick to, but not to tell it until they were asked. Me and his sister took him apart in pieces and let him wash away. They found his clothes later, but nothing else. We were lucky. He wasn't my last, and not hers either. By the time we were together, we both knew how to really hide a body." "I can't do this," Danny said. "You will, and you're not leaving this room. No one is," she said. Kyle closed his eyes, and everyone hoped that was it, but no luck. We did 7 together before I did her. I was real careful that it was a weekend when we were far away from each other. As far as I'll put a comma there. As far as everyone else knew. Her parents blamed me for both their deaths. The cops looked into it, but if they did suspect me, they eventually gave up. I had help, you see. "I'll knock him out myself," Danny said, "just to make him stop. Be professional, Danny. You have a job to do regardless of whether this is real or not." "How could it not be real?" "He may have just seen it on TV, and he's talking about it as he goes out." Danny looked to Kelly for confirmation, but she seemed absorbed in her work. Kyle said, "I had met and started running around with my future wife at that point. She had skills. She did things my girlfriend never dreamed of, as crazy as she was." Let's say even as crazy as she was. "We planned it all together, and we got away with it again and again. I'm sort of the impulsive one. She's smart, and that's why we never get caught. We joked that we had taken so many kidneys out of so many bodies over the years that at least a few of those should have matched me if we could just have gotten them in here without you guys noticing. I was thinking, after this is over, my wife and I need to celebrate by..." Kyle trailed off as Kelly fixed the oxygen mask over his face. She said, "Count backwards for me from 20. Kyle didn't count, but went on mumbling. Danny mumbled himself. Thank God we can't understand him anymore. "Hey, Kedman, thanks for being here." Anymore, at least, let's say. Dr. Eckert said, "Everyone listen. We have no evidence what he said was true. Even if it was, we still have a job to do. As far as I'm concerned, he was mumbling nonsense. Nothing we need to act upon. Not much writing during the Olympics. Oh, okay. Yeah, we're not following it quite as closely. You guys got 3 medals today. I'm not even keeping up with the medal count myself. What'd you guys get medals in? Of course, that's right in your wheelhouse there. America always tries to run away with the Summer Olympics. Of course, we got some good Olympic athletes in the Winter Games too. We're just a competitive country, I think, is what it comes down to. Nothing we need to act upon. If we believed everything everyone said as they were going under, we'd be putting half our patients in jail after surgery. I don't know about that, Danny said. Do you understand what I said? She asked. Danny nodded. The others mumbled their consent. Kyle went out, and the transplant surgery was a success.